So, welcome to my journey to the media world. I'm alongside Dave Edwards, ex-Wolverhampton Wanderers and current Shrewsbury Town player. Dave, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, really good.
So if we talk about your time at Wolves first of all, it's fair to say that the beginning of your time at Wolves was hampered by a number of injuries.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, when you were rewarded with promotion in the 08-09 season, did it feel especially well earned?
Yeah, definitely. I think that season was special for everyone. I think we're all in a similar position. We'd never played Premier League football before. A lot of the lads were my age at the time, sort of 21, 22. All played lower league football, and just as a big team effort, it was incredible. But yeah, it was for me personally to make a quick jump up to the Championship from I was playing in League 2 the year before, and then into the Premier League. It was incredible.
Yeah, and in the second season in the Premier League, you beat Manchester City while scoring against your former teammate Joe Hart. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was a special day. It was. I remember everything about it. Man City at the time had just started spending quite a lot of money, and in charge it was it Mancini maybe at the time. Playing with Molineux, and we needed a win really, and we went 1-0 down. We equalised through Nedum Milias. And then I got the chance towards the end of the game and to score past Joe, who's such a good friend of mine, and so we used to live together when I was at Shrewsbury. It was really special, and even Joe says to me, I forget if anyone was going to score the winner, he wanted it to be me. So yeah, a real special day.
Yeah, and you still keep in contact with him now?
Yeah, still speak to Joe. Yeah, he's had a wonderful career. I think he's been a bit unfairly treated in recent years. He's a top goalkeeper. I still believe he's the best in the country. I'm sure he'll get back up there. Yeah, we'll still speak to him.
Yeah, and Wolves have continued their good record at Manchester City, obviously last weekend. Do you have any teams that you always do well against as a player?
I think we always seem to do reasonably well against Liverpool, which sounds bizarre. I remember I've won twice at Anfield, which I don't think many players can say that. We won there 1-0 in the Premier League, and then I was fortunate enough to be captain there a couple of years ago, and we won 2-1 in the FA Cup. And Newcastle as well, we seem to get good results against Newcastle, but yeah, I think everyone has teams which they really don't like playing, and there's some teams which you manage to get your goals against and things like that, so it's just part of football.
If we fast forward to when Wolves suffered the double drop, in what must have been a turmoil time for the club, what influence did Kenny Jackett have on you as a player and obviously on the team?
Kenny sort of really resurrected my career, and he sort of really stabilised the football club. It was in a bad way when he took over. Obviously that double relegation was terrible, and we had a lot of players on big money which he was told to get rid of, and he brought the youth in and got us promoted that first time, which was a real tough job. But for me personally, I had quite a few injuries leading into that season, and he was the one who got me playing probably some of my best football, played me in a more advanced position. I was playing as a number 10 a lot, and it was with Kenny and Joe Gallen who sort of really helped me find my goal scoring boots as well, concentrated really hard on my finishing and getting into the area at the right times, and that sort of period they were in charge, and then moving on to the end of my Wolves career to the most prolific, and I owe a lot of that to Kenny.
And after quickly making it back to the Championship, you then narrowly missed out on a playoff spot by goal difference. Do you think that impacted the following season?
There's many factors that went into that. I think we was on a real crest of a wave that first season, and realistically looking back, we should have got into the playoffs. We dropped points at the back end of the season, which we shouldn't have done. We were good enough to get into that top 6, but after that we started to lose big players. We lost the likes of Bakary Sakho, Benik Afobe, and it's difficult to replace them sort of players. And in the end, I don't think people realise what the wage budget was at Wolves at the time. It was definitely sort of in the bottom third of the league, and we had 2 seasons of finishing 14th, I believe, which was pretty much on par with where our wage structure was at the time. And I thought when Kenny was sacked, when obviously Fosun came in, you could see where they wanted to go with their vision, but I thought he was harshly treated at the time. But he's gone on and done really well at Portsmouth, and he'll be a good manager for years to come.
Moving on to your time at Wales, talk us through the highlights. Surely that Euro 2016 run must stand out.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the first sort of half of my Welsh career it was a massive privilege to play for my country, but it was tough times. We weren't qualifying for tournaments, we were getting low crowds, but then it all started to build up towards that Euro 2016. The qualifying was amazing. I managed to play, I think, 6 of the games in the qualifiers, and then to go to the actual Euros in France and start the first game and be involved in another 3 or 4 games. It was just a great experience, and to get to the semi-finals was, looking back, it'll be the biggest achievement of my football career and most special time. And what made it more special is that my family right there at the time, and my little boy and little girl got to see me play as well. So real special memories, and say hopefully Wales can go on to top that in years to come, but it'll be tough to do that.
To finish off, you're now playing back at Shrewsbury Town. How does football differ in League One to playing at the highest level?
I think the physicality is a lot different. In the Premier League, you have the physicality and the technical ability, so they're quick and strong, but when you haven't got the ball, the other team's capable of hurting you and keeping the ball, and there's a lot of time you spend out of possession. Whereas I find when you drop to League One, the turnover of possession is a lot more, so the average time a team might be in possession might be maybe 5 to 10 seconds, whereas in the Premier League it can be up to 1 or 2 minutes at times. The ball isn't in play as much either. I think the average time in League One is probably under 50 minutes, I would say, whereas the Premier League, I imagine, is up around 70, 75 minutes, and that's because the players are technically better and managing to keep the ball, so it's a lot tougher in that aspect. But some good footballers in League One, and you get the odd few who will go on and play Premier League, and I think the leagues are getting better and better because of the influx of the foreign players at the top. It filters down the system that the better British players are now playing Championship and League One football, and the amount of money in the Championship now is huge. So I think the standard of football is filtering down the leagues, and it's just getting better and better.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure to speak with you.
Cheers.